Tommy sat on his bed, gazing out at the summer sun. School was over, and he had 3 months to fill. His parents were always at work, leaving him alone most days. On the first morning of vacation, Tommy decided to explore the woods behind his house. He'd always been a bit afraid of the dense forest, but the thought of an adventure lured him in. With a flashlight and a bottle of water, he set off. The woods were cooler than he expected, the canopy blocking much of the sun. He wandered along faint trails, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. About an hour in, he found an old abandoned cabin, hidden by vines. Its windows were shattered, and the door was barely hanging on. Curious, Tommy pushed the door open and stepped inside. The air was stale and dust floated in the sunbeams, filtering through the broken windows. He felt a chill. The interior was sparse, with broken furniture scattered around. In one corner, he noticed a trapdoor covered in cobwebs. Despite his fear, Tommy pulled the trapdoor open. A wooden ladder led down into darkness. He took a deep breath, switched on his flashlight, and descended. At the bottom, he found himself in a small, dirt-floored cellar. The walls were lined with shelves holding spoiled jars of food. But what caught his eye was a dusty, leather-bound book on a table in the center of the room. He picked up the book and opened it. The pages were filled with handwritten notes and strange symbols. One entry made his blood run cold. June 12th, 1924. I hear them at night, scratching at the door. They whisper my name. I cannot leave. They won't let me. A sudden noise from above made Tommy jump. He turned off his flashlight and held his breath. Footsteps creaked on the floorboards. Someone was in the cabin. Terrified, he tucked the journal under his arm and crept up the ladder. Through the trapdoor, he saw muddy boots and tattered jeans. The person stood still, listening. After what felt like forever, the figure moved towards the door and left. Tommy waited, then bolted out of the cabin, sprinting through the woods until he was back in his yard. That night, the whispers began. Faint at first, then louder. They called his name, just like in the journal. Terrified, he searched the book for answers. The last entry caught his eye. June 21st, 1924. I have sealed the trapdoor. I pray it is enough. They are coming. Realizing the date, Tommy knew what he had to do. He grabbed a hammer and nails, then raced to the cabin. His hands trembled as he hammered the trapdoor shut. The whispers grew louder, more frantic. He could feel their presence closing in. With the last nail in place, the woods fell silent. Tommy stumbled home, exhausted but relieved. As he climbed into bed, he vowed never to return to the woods. But deep down, he knew they would always be there, whispering his name.